If you want to create a better life for yourself, focus on these two things: clarity and mindset. Create the clarity in your mind as to where you want to be in life. And then develop the mindset that will propel you forward as you create and move towards the path that leads to the vision you defined for yourself. Let's begin with understanding clarity and how it serves to initially provide the necessary motivation and guidelines to build a proper mindset. Clarity is the most important thing you can focus on, nurture, and build when looking to improve your life. Clarity on what you want to achieve, clarity on the type of life you want to design for yourself, clarity on the skills and knowledge you have to acquire along the way, clarity on the things, people, and habits you have to let go of, and clarity on the type of person you want to become. When embarking on any journey, we first want to have a clear vision of where it is we want to end up. But at times, we aren't perfectly clear on where we have to go in order to get to where we want to end up. The same destination can have many paths. This makes it difficult to be 100% certain on the path we have to take. This is why having a clear vision on the destination helps us gauge whether or not our current path is heading or it's leading us in a general direction that we want to go in. Clarity on your destination will also help you decide on what skills and knowledge you have to acquire while moving toward your goal. Imagine this, for example. You're a young teenager with aspirations of becoming a world-class athlete. Say that in 7 or 10 years, you want to become a professional basketball player. But on the onset, you really have no idea on how that's going to play out, nor do you know the exact route or path you have to take in order to get to that destination. But one thing that you are clear on is your destination. You know that one way or another, you're going to do everything in your power to become a professional basketball player. You see yourself standing in front of a huge audience, broadcasted on national television, while you're being selected during the first round draft pick of that year. And because you have that destination clear in your mind, you're going to at least have an initial idea of the skills you have to learn along the way in order to get to the level where you're good enough to actually be selected for a first round pick. Kobe Bryant would talk about this all the time, for example. He would say that when he was around 13 years old, he made a list of things that he wanted to improve on, and the skills that he had to learn in order to become a great basketball player. And he would reiterate on this list and improve it as time went by. But because he maintained clarity on what his destination was, or the destination that he wanted to arrive at, he was able to spot out new skills and training methods that he wasn't previously aware of. He would then add these skills and training methods to his list and continue moving in that correct direction, or what he felt, what clarity told him was a correct direction, right? Because he already knew where his destination was, which was to be a great basketball player. So anything that would assist him in becoming a great basketball player, any new skills he had obtained, any knowledge he had to acquire, watching, for example, he gives the example of watching a lot of basketball games from his heroes. All of that was coherent with his clarity. So he knew that was going to contribute to him one day arriving at the destination that he had defined for himself. He didn't know the route, but he knew the destination. And in spite of not being aware of every skill he had to learn or improve on when he was first starting out, just because he had clarity on the life he wanted to create for himself, he became aware of the skills he had to learn as he progressed forward. The general idea is that it's impossible for us to be completely conscious of every detail and obstacle we have to encounter and overcome when first embarking on a specific journey. We have to come to terms with the not knowing. Not completely knowing everything that you're going to encounter on your path and all the things you're going to have to learn. You have to be comfortable with that. You have to come to terms with the not knowing. And at the same time understand that as long as you have clarity on the overall goal and continue to move forward, these unknowns will become conscious to you. In this sense, having clarity on the final destination will help us move toward the unknown to the known. And as we fill in those gaps and begin to understand more aspects and skills related to our journey, we gain more confidence in our action, which in turn gives us more motivation to continue forward. So in short, Having clarity on the life you want to build for yourself is the first step to creating a better life for yourself. When we have clarity on our destination, we can effectively move from the known to the unknown. And clarity will program our mind to identify the necessary skills and knowledge we have to acquire in order to obtain the results that will lead us towards the destination we have envisioned for ourselves. Now that we are clear on the importance of having clarity on the life you want to create, let's place our attention on the role played by mindset. As you move forward in your journey, your biggest ally will be your mindset. These two aspects begin to work in tangent almost immediately. Clarity prompts necessity to develop a certain mindset, and mindset feeds off of clarity to create the mentality needed to bring your future into fruition. This is due to the fact that the vision you create for yourself will be noticeably different from the life you currently live. And in order to live a life noticeably different from the life you currently live, you have to become a noticeably different person. And this new person will grow out of a completely new mindset than the one that you currently have. A mindset that embraces the unknowns. This mindset, specifically this growth mindset you have to develop, is that which tells you that you have to believe in your ability to learn what you need to learn along the way in order to overcome the obstacles that you're going to undoubtedly encounter. Once you decide to embark on your personal journey, there are basically three experiences you can count on. You can count on uncertainty, obstacles, and failures, which are then turned into lessons. Given this reality, you have to train your mind to embrace these experiences and trust in your ability to grow through each one. Therefore, the growth mindset you adopt should prioritize curiosity and self-learning. This is going to be helpful because there are basic skills you have to learn as you dive deeper into your one-person business and personal branding, such as marketing, sales, persuasion, writing, business fundamentals, productivity, branding, and graphic design, just to name a few. These topics are within themselves extremely broad and at the same time interconnected. So you have to embrace your curiosity and willingness to dive into each one and explore the specific aspects you feel will serve your purpose and add more value to the objectives, tasks, and projects that you're trying to execute at a given moment. You don't have to become an expert in any of these areas, especially when you're first starting off. So be selective on the specific skills you have to learn in each and every one of these areas, and be willing to research, watch tutorials, read books, and take courses that best suit your needs at a given time. And the best way to gauge whether a certain skill suits your need at a given time is to approach the learning process from the lens of a specific project you're currently working on. For example, say your current project is to set up a YouTube page or a Twitter account. In this case, you need to learn a few basic branding and photography, film, maybe some graphic design skills as well, in order to create your profile pic, your banner, and your thumbnails. You might also want to look into basic copywriting skills for your tweets and your profile log line. But keep in mind that you don't have to become an expert in any of these areas. Just learn enough to get the task done and the project completed. And with time, you can go back to these skills, learn a bit more, and iterate on different aspects of your page. Another example is if you decide to create a digital product. You'll have to pick up some at least basic marketing and sales skills, as well as learn how to set up a landing page, and you'll have to work on your copywriting skills as well in order to make your offer a bit more persuasive, or as persuasive as possible. Again, there are a ton of examples, but the main point I want to get across is that all of these skills will demand a growth mindset that is open to curiosity and, most of all, self-learning. Your mindset will serve as the foundation to help you become the person that is capable of facing uncertainty, teaching themselves, and overcoming obstacles. Sometimes you will succeed on your first attempt, but honestly, don't count on it, especially at the beginning, when you have to learn a lot of things at once. You will most likely encounter a lot of small failures that with time, these failures will become lessons and help you grow. Going back to the previous examples, unless you have previous experience in graphic design, your first banner and thumbnails are most likely going to suck. They're not gonna be all that good. Your copywriting might not be as good as the writing from content creators you most admire, and your marketing sales strategies are going to need work. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. These are small failures. And as you accumulate these small failures, they turn into lessons. And these lessons it's like the foundation of what you're gonna learn. Because not only do you learn the task at hand, you learn the skills, but you get into the rhythm of learning and overcoming, of trying, failing, overcoming, and then learning, and then reiterating and doing it better. And that's how you really develop, and that's really how you lose the fear of failing, which is one of the main things that holds us back. We're very concerned with failure, and we try to avoid failure. But again, you have to have the mindset that you see failures as opportunities. They're opportunities to fail, but when you fail, you learn what you did wrong, and then you correct it. So the next time you won't do it wrong, you'll do it right the first time. So you also have to keep in mind that it's a completely normal part of the process. Like, these failures will serve as your foundational lessons. So have that mindset of embracing failures and trusting your ability to overcome them, make the necessary adjustments, and always push forward. There's a saying that goes that the difference between the master and the student is that the master has failed more times than what the student has tried. So keep that in mind throughout the whole process, and don't be afraid of failure. Embrace failures, and know that at the end of every failure, there's a lesson. And once you learn to apply that lesson, there's development and growth at the other end. So pursue your projects, pursue your one-person businesses, build your personal brands. But first, before you take the first step, or if you've taken steps already, pause and define a clear vision for yourself, for your future. And that vision is going to push you to develop a growth mindset. You're no longer going to be afraid of failure. You're no longer going to be afraid of uncertainties. You're going to see that with every failure comes a lesson. With every lesson comes growth. And you're going to begin to believe in the process. Begin to believe in the path, that you're on the correct path. And even though there's a lot of certainties and obstacles that are found on this path, you know that the path is leading you towards the destination that you've defined for yourself. So that's just the main point I wanted to get across, guys. One of the most important things you can do is work on your clarity and work on your mindset.